Yeah. Alrighty. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And we are working on our hashtag 6-pack collab, hashtag journal collaboration, hashtag second Tuesday, and any other hashtags you may want to include, okay? Okay. So this is chapter 2 of the collaboration, wherein everybody's going to do this, but I'm making a set of signatures to go in the cover that the Shelley Studio made and sent to me for this next chapter. So she alluded to liking travel and that kind of thing, and the journal cover pretty much reflects that. And I thought, well, we've got to have some map. What kind of map? The only kind of map that matters. Texas, y'all. It's Texas. Now, this was a very well used and loved Texas map. It's old. How old is it? I don't know. I didn't go and look. The list of my fellow collaborators have already started going across your screen and will continue to go across your screen until we reach me. So, anywhos, I thought I would make, because I was planning on doing 4 signatures, and I would make 4 map pieces to go, one in each signature. So I'm cutting some reinforcement pieces from the map as well. They're about an inch, if that makes a difference to you. And my sizes of my maps are not exactly the same because I was going to trim them down. Later. Well, I did, but anyway. So I'm going to mostly just put a fold and just reinforce the side that I'm not crazy about. The up close of the particular cities kind of thing. Wow, Texas is a pretty big state. Okay, it's not quite as big as Alaska, but almost. Okay. Could take you 3 days to travel across it, depending on how often you stop and whether you stop to sleep or not. Anyways. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to reinforce the center fold, but gap of our map gonna be signatures. Okay, well, go into the signatures, and I'm showing you quite a few minutes of this because this is the part that I worked on extra much. The other papers that I'm including in the signatures, I thought, well, I'm going to just white gesso lightly over the backs of them, right? Because, we'll end up spraying or something on the backs, right? One for each signature, remember? Okay. Well, keep watching. Like I said, it's map, and it's well used, and it's, opened and closed and folded wrong and opened and closed and used, right? Okay. Humidity also, just saying, because, it's a thing. So we're just squishing that on. Yeah, I pretty much show you all 4 of these pieces, okay? All 4 of these pieces of map paper. Just wait for it. Tragedy happened. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to rethink on that. I didn't tear it off completely, but going to have to rethink on that. And I'm trying to keep, my little area clean so I don't get too much white gesso on the good side of the map, okay? The back side, typically, on most maps, shows you a close-up, a better street view, well, not really a view, of the larger cities, okay? And sometimes there's information about sightseeing places and, a whole list typically of each individual city and maybe county even. Anyway, all our counties are named after Alamo people. Just saying, because it's a thing. It's a real thing, y'all. Remember the Alamo? Anyway, So y'all saw I tore another piece tore off when I was gessoing, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna have to glue them back to back now because I can't have that tear, but I need that piece of the matte paper, okay? So, and this is, a couple of them have the border, you know, like there's a border up to Oklahoma, and there's a border over to Louisiana, and then there's one to the other state on the west of us, whose name I've suddenly forgotten, but I think it's New Mexico, probably, yeah, probably pretty sure. Anyway. So we're gluing them back to back, and by gluing them, we're using matte medium, okay? Yeah, that's okay. It just makes a thicker piece of paper, and instead of having one in each of 4 signatures, we have one in each of 2 signatures. Yeah. I didn't have another Texas map to cut up, and I pretty much used the whole usable part of it because, you know, yeah. I'm not necessarily the most efficient cutter, but I have this Tim Holtz, the coffee splatter one. Oh, love that stencil. And I thought, what's a good map without some coffee stains on it? So that's what we're doing. Then do I show you all of them? I truly don't remember. I edited this a couple days ago. Anywho, so we're doing that with archival ink, so it ought not smear. Ought not. Love this stencil. Just saying, you know. Now, my daddy would not appreciate coffee stains on a map. You don't fold them up incorrectly, and you learn how to read a map when you're a wee little one, because we used to take long trips back home, right? And that would be an 100-mile trip. And Daddy would go over the maps for a couple weeks before we'd actually leave, because we'd drive, y'all. This back, I mean, you know, it's very expensive to be airmailing people to their home state. So anyway, this is cardstock. Oh, they're all hand-dyed papers, y'all. This is cardstock. I tore it in half with the wiggly woggly line, because that's what I wanted. One is yellow onion skin, pretty sure. The other one is red cabbage, pretty sure. And I'm just using some art glitter glue right there on the rip part. Okay, and we're going to glue one piece to the other with barely an overlap. Gosh, I hope it sticks. Oh, I send the journal now with the signatures on to Jessica Harris, okay? She can do whatever she wants with the next step. She can change the edges, ink the edges, because I left it pretty much extremely plain, except for these 2, and then the map, okay? Okay, so anyway, whatever you want, Jessica. Jessica Harris. So we're going to have 2, one for each of 2 signatures, because, you know, I had to change my thought. So 2 signatures are going to get a map, and then 2 signatures are going to get this fancy cardstock piece. I say fancy, y'all. It ain't nothing fancy about it. Anyways, we will die cut a circle in there too, because that's what I wanted. I wanted them to have an opening, okay? And I'm just kind of making sure that it's still square-ish, okay? Not my first time to do a page like this, so I understand how off kilter they can get very easily. So now we're going to put our signatures in. I am using a blind binding, meaning I am not going to bind through the journal cover spine. I'm doing a hidden binding. Can I say that any other ways? I don't know, probably. So I've got a template there, and I was just writing top on there, and then I thought, oh wait, did I even measure this on the cover? Wait, I'm gonna clip everything together first. And yeah, so I'm like very confused on here. I have a piece of fabric. I'm using a piece of fabric, okay, because I have this pretty fabric, and I thought I'm going to use a little. I mean, it's a very small piece, you know, and it was pretty white. So I just dipped it in some tea, because I was doing some tea dyeing paper as well. I don't think tea dye made it in here. I don't know. Maybe it did. I don't know. I also have some other dyed papers. I think it was marbled papers, or I don't know. But they're all mostly copy weight paper except the map pages now, which are double-sided, and this here cardstock. And this is the last signature of the book because I'm binding from the back forward. And you know, fabric's a little flippy floppy, so you'll see me struggle-ish with that. Once I got my system down, I'm like, yeah, that's working. We'll just keep doing that. Okay. And you see that the little fabric piece is taller than the signature pages. Not all the pages are the same width. Okay, some have a little fold over edge, which Jessica Harris or anyone else in you know, later chapters are free to change as they may or may not see fit, because you know, they might could just rip off one of them little folded out pieces and use it for something else. I don't know, whatever, y'all. That's where our, you know, our creativeness is coming in, because that's the attitude I'm taking with the next chapter where we add pockets and tucks. You know, if there's a page and it's in my way, it may be altered, okay? Because I can do that. I said so. I'm pretty sure that's okay to use creative license. So, you know, when you have fabric, you can't really see those holes that you poke through with your poke tool, all right? So I stuck a needle in there, an extra needle, and I'm going to try to get it through there. And y'all see me struggle. I'm like, oh, well, it's just too flippy floppy. Let's pin back this other part and use, you know, paper clips. So that's what we're doing. I mean, this worked. It worked pretty well for me. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it's, you know, getting mail. It's still on the table. I haven't mailed it just yet. Just fixing to. We have to mail by the 15th. So, second Tuesday in April, I think, is before the 15th. I don't know. Whatever, y'all. Whatever. So we got that in there. Okay. 3-hole pamphlet stitch. That's all. Nothing too fancy. Go to the top or the bottom, then you come back out, and then you go in the middle. Okay. You come back in the middle, and this is where you need to be careful and not split your thread. This is wax linen thread, if it matters. There's sort of a list of ingredients in the description, sort of. Definitely a list of links to everyone else's channel in general, because we're not necessarily posting videos on the same days and times and that kind of thing. It's not technically a hop, y'all. It is not a hop. It is a collaboration. So we're posting as many videos as we want, or as little as we want, on whatever days and times that we won't do, because, you know, that's the way it goes. So it's just generic links to their channels. I believe I've also included links, or their Instagram IDs, so y'all can follow everybody there too. Just saying. So split my thread, and I figgled around with it, and I got tired of it, and I'm like, well, just pull the darn thing out and do it again. So that's what I did. I pulled the middle one out, and we are re-going in that one. Okay. So and we're just going to tie and double knot, and then we do this for all 4 of our signatures. I still ended up with 4 signatures, y'all. Okay. I meant to put music paper in there, but I didn't, because, you know, I didn't. That's why, because I didn't. But I did put a coffee dyed coffee filter in 2 of them anyway. So, and they all have mostly the same papers, mostly, you know, few differences. So, you know, that's the last signature. Now we're going to put the other ones in, and we will go. I think I show you every single one of them. Look at that dragon on fly on there. I love it. The butterfly, that's the tip of a butterfly wing up there at the top. Okay. Okay. So anyway, I left this all in. It is hyper speeded. Well, the whole thing is hyper sped, you know, because that's the way I roll. And because I prefer doing voiceovers and editing. I don't mind doing it. I look at it as part of the creative process, y'all. So here we go, just kind of showing, and you can see, you can slow down the portions you may want to slow down if you want to, okay? And fair warning though, I'm going to sound even more weirder than normal, okay? You can speed it up, because that's kind of funny too, just saying. Anyway. I know you can't see how I'm lining up the little template there. And because it's a hidden binding, it's not that critical that everything is exactly the same, because you're not going to be able to see the binding, okay? Now, our one goal was, we could use whatever papers, however many signatures, how big we wanted, whatever. But it was suggested that we allow space for expansion, because, we'll be adding pockets and tucks and whatever later on. So you know how a lot of journals end up being pretty gator mouth. I personally am not a fan of gator mouth. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I'm just not, okay? So, and I've learned through my many thousands of years, yeah, could be true, mentally anyway, of journal making and filling, that less signatures allows for more expansion, because if it's still too thinnish for you, you can add tip ins and tip outs, as they may or may not be called. So here we go. We're extra hyper speed now, y'all. So that's what I'm saying. You might want to slow it down. Maybe not. I don't know. Voiceovers sound weird. And I did leave the tails in the centers of the signatures, because they can do whatever they want to do. They can cut them off, whatever their creativeness muse directs them to do. Okay? So, yeah. Pretty happy. Every single one. It's just the first initial hole where you come back into the center that and I do suggest you put in like a guide needle, something. You could use your pokey tool again, I guess, whatever. So, and you do want them firmly attached to the fabric, because this is what's going to hold the signatures in. And in my little note to Jessica, I did tell her, I said, I hope it holds. If it doesn't, fix it the best you can, and I hope they don't be hating on me. Anyway. Last one. AKA the first signature when you come into the book. Okay. When the Shelley Studio made the cover, she did allow some room to cover up the center spine there, or not, because there's a lot of creative license in this. Did I say that already? Well, I'm saying it again. Probably using different words, but the same thing, y'all. Last one. Okay. By this time, I'm a pro. Well, not necessarily a pro, but I'm better at it. I mean, each one is better. And I technically maybe could have put a fifth one in there and it'd been fine. But for me, the way I work in journals, they end up being twice as thick as the signature started. Okay, so that's what's in my mind. There we go. Now, here's the cover. Isn't it beautiful? It's like leather. So cool. See how we have cardstock on the one side, on front and back. We've also got our pocket. We have to preserve the pocket, because that's where we're putting our notes and what steps and process, if any, or whatever we want to say to the next people and the ultimate owner of the journals. Okay? So I'm trying to center it, and my signatures are not actually in the center of the fabric, but that's okay. We get there, y'all, and I'm, like I said, pretty happy with it. So we're preserving the pocket. And I knew the pocket was there, and I knew it was going to be a slight issue, y'all. Ain't no big thing, okay? So I'm just cutting my little fabric right there, and this is mostly just, y'all know me, when the eyeball. I think I did really well getting my my cover to the mostly correct measurements. Y'all. So, anyway, just a little bit more. I'm preserving the pocket. You'll see. Okay. Oh, y'all. Okay. All right. Just keep fiddling with it and fiddling with it. Y'all see pretty much the whole thing, except for, you know, the part where I'm out of screen. But, you know, it's just the way it goes sometimes. Try to get close enough so you can see, but far enough away so you can see everything. All right, here comes the Fabri-Tac. I think that's the fabric glue I'm using. Cross fingers, it's worse, y'all. I only got the one cover. I don't know what I'd do if I screwed it up, because, you know, it's always a possibility. So I'm putting the Fabri-Tac on the fabric, and I'm trying to be fairly generous. Okay, this is not the time to be stingy. All right. Well, I guess it's not the time to be overly generous either, because you don't want. I don't want glue squishing out everywhere, because I don't like that. I don't like big glue globules. Okay, flopping that over, trying not to get the glue where I don't want it. Working it in there, gonna try to make it straight-ish. Now you can't really read the words on that fabric, but for me, my eye kept telling me which was upside down and which wasn't. Which is another thing when you're putting signatures in. If you have directional stuff like maps, you want to be careful with. Just saying. I was careful enough. Okay. So we're just putting a little down there on that little strip. I think it worked out pretty good. Well, like I said, again, I'm happy with it. So here's the actual center spine. Okay. Now I want to make sure my fabric is glued in there, because this is what is holding the signatures in. Well, the thread, but you know. But this is holding the signature into the cover. Gosh, I hope it works okay. If not, hopefully those down the line can creatively correct my foobar, and to please let me know not to ever, never, ever do this again like this. So here we go. Trying to make sure I got enough. I'm going to use my little silicone brush and kind of smoosh it down a little bit. Not a lot, just, you know, just some. I think I put just a little bit more on there, you know, that kind of thing. Yep, here it comes. So, because the fabric will cover up, and that is, I think that's, I'm going to call it an unbleached muslin fabric there in the journal cover. Okay, so now we're smooshing that over, trying to keep it straight, trying to keep everything sort of loose enough that it's still very foldable and openable, because, you know, that was one of my goals, group goal as well. I'm smooshing it down with my fingers, and I'm going to get the bone folder out. I think this may actually be real speed. It's definitely not hyperdrive, y'all. Definitely not. So I'm using the bone folder to just squish in between the signatures. Yes, you can see the fabric spine between the signatures. I'm okay with that. Allows expansion. Think expansion. Like I said, you know, in the end, if it's not already gator mouth, because I don't know what it can look like by the end, y'all. We got 4 more chapters to go. So, you know, they can be tip ins and tip outs and flop overs and whatnot. Heck, for all I know, somebody's going to need to tear some of this paper out. Hopefully they don't tear up the map, because that's my favorite. Well, that and the cardstock, the ripped cardstock on the front. Anyway, not mine anymore. Once it's out there in the mail, it's not me anymore. So here we are. We're on the front cover. Now, and I did let it set and dry for 10-15 minutes between each of these little sections. You know, where we glued in the back fabric on the back cover. Then we did the spine. And now we're doing it on the front cover, okay? And as you can see, I'm leaving the edges free, because that's what I wanted to do, okay? Close the glue up, because it's important to do that. That's stinky stuff. This is, I think Fabri-Tac is more stinky than Fabri-Fix. That's just my opinion. That's what I'm saying. Oh, Molly's sleeping good. Got her sleep breathing going on. So, here we go. Flippy floppy time. See, it's the cover. Looking good. Okay, here we go. Now, everything's not laying quite flat just yet. It's going to take a while, you know, for journal pages to go, oh, hey, I'm a journal page. See? Here we go. Now, the first and the last signature are the same, and the two middle signatures are the same, except for, you know, there's variations on the matte paper that's there, y'all. Yeah. I thought the hose would be fun. Oh, it's paper bag. I put a paper bag in there, and after I put it all in there, I thought, well, I could have opened that paper bag up and made it not so fluffy, but you know, it's just how it goes. So, yeah, Daddy would not be happy about coffee rings on a map. I can tell you that right now. Sorry, Daddy. Anyway, just going to briefly flip-flop through it. See, and there is a thing on the back of the bags that came that way. And, yeah, just flip-flopping. Not sure some of those papers, I'm not sure how they were dyed. And then this is our little note thing. Shelley made a document folder, which is what I initially was going to do, but didn't. So, and that was the little thing I added, and it fits in there nicely. Okay, see, it's pretty floofy. Ta-da! Photo montage. Plenty of room for expansion. Okay, colors are not an exact match, but you know, they're close enough. Whoever gets the next 4 chapters can do whatever they're gonna do with it. Just saying, because that's the way this collaboration's working, y'all. And I will send, or have already sent, I don't know which, this on to Jessica Harris, who will do the pockets and tucks. And the next one that I get will have a cover made by somebody and the signatures made by somebody else. And I will do the pockets and tucks in. Okay? We're not filling the pockets and tucks. We're just putting them in. Okay? That is the kitschy catchy part of this collaboration. Now, I know it may seem like an excessive amount of photos, but I only have the one shot to take the photos for the photo montage. Okay? Makes me happy. Be sure to visit, everybody. Thanks for watching, and happy arting, y'all.